Krishna being tied to a mortar as a punishment for his breaking the butter pot is one of the playful episodes of Srimad Bhagavatam. Early one fine morning, Yashoda, having allocated the house work among her maids, sat churning curd in order to extract butter for Krishna and the others. She sang songs of joy. She was at peace with herself. She was dressed in a ghagra and blouse. The silken skirt was held around her broad midriff by a cotton string. Her breasts were dripping milk on account of excessive motherly love. As she moved with the churning cord, her breasts also shook. Her arms grew tired pulling at the string. The bangles on her arms and her earrings, designed like flowers, swayed with her undulating movement. In the meantime, arrived the young Krishna to be nursed. He caught hold of the churner and climbed into his mother's lap. This made Yashoda very happy. Her breasts had been dripping in anticipation as she offered one to Krishna. She looked at his innocent face with tender love. She covered his face with her odhani to ward off the evil eye. On a hearth nearby, Yashoda had put milk to boil, and now she was so lost that the milk boiled over. She noticed it and she moved Krishna away from her breast and went to take care of the milk. Krishna did not like it. His tiny red lips trembled with rage. Biting his lips, he picked an iron rod lying nearby and hit at the churning pitcher. The entire place was a mess. Krishna nonchalantly ran to another room and busied himself with eating stale butter. Yashoda came back and saw the pitcher broken, the curd flowing. She knew who was the culprit. However, smiling, she went into the adjacent room in search of him. And there she found him standing on an upturned mortar in order to reach the pot of butter suspended from the roof. He was throwing butter to a few monkeys who had assembled to share the feast. Every now and then he looked around for fear of being discovered. Here is a child, here is God. She wanted to punish him. He sensed her coming towards him with a stick. He jumped down from the upturned mortar and tried to run. Yashoda chased him and caught hold of him. Krishna wept and wept for fear of punishment. He knew how to soften his mother's anger. Just go on weeping. He was rubbing his eyes with his fists. The kajal dissolved in tears and smeared his soft cheeks. What a description. It touches you. It binds you to that child. He was looking upwards and away to feign fear and agitation. Looking at her frightened son, Yashoda threw the stick away. However, in order to restrain him, she decided to tie him with a rope to the same mortar on which he had climbed a moment ago. To her dismay, Yashoda found the rope running short. She brought another length. This too was insufficient. She got one more length. It was still not long enough. All her efforts at tying the young Krishna came to naught. The gopis standing nearby watched and laughed and enjoyed the spectacle. They could not help laughing, but they did not want to offend Yashoda. She was, after all, the wife of the chief. Ultimately, Bhagwan came to the rescue of the mother. Krishna allowed himself to be tied to the mortar. Then Yashoda went to another part of the Haveli to attend to the duties of a housewife. This is how this episode runs. Later, Krishna pulls the mortar through trees and frees two men who had been changed into trees by curse of some rishi, but that is a story which need not be told today. Thank you. for visiting this site. Jai Sri Krishna. Jai Sri Krishna. Jai Sri Krishna.